In meetings before Zoom, people who are guests are named in the minutes. And I'm concerned that if there's talk now of minute taking being based on the recording, that the list of guests will not get included. So that's just a cautionary note, I guess. Some way to make sure that those of us who attend by remote get our names included with it, somebody assigned there to look at the monitor or whatever, but just a note of caution on that score. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Does anybody else have any public comment before we move on? Okay. What was that? Are we thinking the same
Along
thing?
those lines, I'm gonna do a sign-in sheet, okay.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, so I guess, because we have so many people here, this evening, which is atypical, if you just put your name, I guess, and if any affiliation.
We're gonna come.
Yeah, good.
You passed that around. Okay. Thank you, Rita. We're thinking the same thing.
Does anybody need to come?
All right, so, without any more delay, I'm gonna turn this over to Chief Burgess.
Okay, giving a little bit of background first, I'd like to give a little bit of background about why we're here today. So, there was a gentleman, so there's very little information I can give, but as far as the specifics, so bear with me. There was a gentleman out of Danvers, Mass, that had texted some statements to family that he didn't feel that his life was worth living anymore. This is something in policing that we call a Q5. It means a potentially suicidal person. So that person lived in Danvers, Mass. Sergeant Pelletier was on shift and he heard through the scanner, he was not dispatched to this, he heard through the scanner as he was paying attention to that, which is so pertinent, that this gentleman, they were looking for this gentleman. It just so happened that the last ping on the cell phone, the last location happened to be in Shutesbury. They triangulated the location, but it's not down to a science. Sergeant Pelletier then took it upon himself to contact dispatch and say, I heard this over the scanner. They said, we heard it too. Can I get some more information? And then he again took it upon himself to head out and actively look for this person. And it wasn't positive that he was going to be doing this today or in this area or anything, but Sergeant Pelletier felt if he could find him, he could potentially talk to him. He ultimately did locate this gentleman who was pulled off of 202, off the roadway, more into the wooded area, so not very visible. And he was able to intervene with this gentleman who was actively attempting to take his own life. I first want to say, I am so proud of all of the officers, and I am so thankful to our Shelburne Control Dispatch for all they do. But the reason that I felt that we needed to come here today to recognize Sergeant Pelletier is because he took it upon himself to make sure he was paying attention to the scanner radio and then contact our dispatch and then go out and actively look without being told to do so. And it's not often that we are able to intervene in a tragedy. We get to a tragedy before it happens. We get to a tragedy after it happens. We don't always get to interrupt a tragedy. And I can't express my pride in the sergeant. That being said, I would like to present him tonight with accommodation. I know I have my back to him. I would like to present him with this. However, first, I would like you to read the commendation and vote to sign this so that I can present it to him.
All right. I'll first read it. It says, Shutesbury Police Department Certificate of Accommodation, Sergeant Devin Pelletier, in recognition of your professional response, January 1st, 2025, demonstrating exceptional performance for your life-saving actions. Issued this 7th day of January, 2025. Do I hear a motion to sign this accommodation for Officer Devin?
I will move that we execute this certificate of commendation for Sergeant Devin Pelletier.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Farrell, I.
Star
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Okay. Do you have a place where you'd like us to sign? it?
Wherever you'd like.
Well, I'll send it down towards you.
I thank you all for signing that. I'd like to present this to him, so I am going to step back and hope that everyone, including Gail, will be able to hear me. And as I present, I also have something to read as well. Sergeant, if you'll join me.
Yeah.
It is with great respect and admiration that we recognize Sergeant Pelletier of the Shutesbury Police Department for an act of extraordinary compassion performed on January 1st, 2025 at approximately 10:30 a.m. On this day, Sergeant Pelletier responded to a critical incident involving an individual in crisis who was actively attempting to take his own life. Demonstrating exceptional courage, decisiveness, and empathy, Sergeant Pelletier intervened swiftly and effectively, ultimately saving this individual's life. Through his actions, Sergeant Pelletier displayed not only a commitment to the preservation of life, but also the highest values of law enforcement service. His ability to remain composed under the immense pressure, coupled with his empathetic approach, exemplifies the profound impact that the dedicated and compassionate officers can have on the community they serve. This heroic act has undoubtedly touched the lives of many, including the individuals saved and their loved ones. It serves as a powerful reminder of the vital role law enforcement plays in safeguarding the well-being of all members of our society. On behalf of the town of Shutesbury and all who are privileged to witness and benefit from Sergeant Pelletier's exemplary service, we extend our deepest gratitude and commendation. Sergeant Pelletier's actions on January 1st, 2025 will not be forgotten and stand as a testament to the courage, dedication, and humanity required in this profession. Sergeant Pelletier, I hereby give you this certificate of commendation with my absolute pride and respect, and thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, Chief.
And thank everyone for coming.
Before everybody slips out, I just want to take a moment also from the select board, Devin, to thank you for this act, but also to thank you for serving in Shutesbury, and to mom, dad, and your wife. Thank you for sharing him with our town.
Yes.
We are very appreciative. And to all of our officers in the whole police department, we went through a regional, a police study group, and the community wanted overwhelmingly to have our own police department. And this proves that that is the reason why this sort of just overall protection of our town. So thank you all very much, and thank you, Devin. Thank you. Chief.
Yes.
Thank you for allowing us to do what we love to do. That we shall exit.
Yes. Yes.
So if you, someone can pass the clipboard with those signatures.
Yeah, I need it.
Oh, Chris has it.
Yes, yes, that's fine. Travis.
See you all.
Okay,
Have a great night.
Thank you. Nice to see you too, Dave.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
I'm
Oh,
gonna top that.
no, we're not. This is-
Tom, you have some ideas.
So moving on to our agenda, we have the, town administrator search review and update and signing the appointment letters for our search committee.
So the appointment letters, since you already voted to sign
Right.
them last week,
Yeah.
I went ahead and produced them. I stamped them,
Okay,
and then they were emailed and distributed today.
Oh, great.
With the exception of the two positions we need to discuss.
Hmm.
So the personnel board had to meet in the interim,
right.
and I believe they are presenting Kathy Salvador
so-
to the board tonight.
Yep.
And then the board, I'll let you discuss the select board appointee.
Sure, yeah.
So, let's start with the personnel board. So last night, the personnel board met, to do two things. One was to officially vote on Kathy's appointment to the TA search committee. And the other was to do the town, admin assistant, job description, which we'll do on another meeting on Thursday. So they did vote to, have Kathy serve as their representative on the search committee. So they.
So we just
So we
need to
just
do the
need to vote
appointment?
on it.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and move that Kathy Salvador be appointed to the town administrator search committee.
Second,
Right, all those in favor?
Farrell, I.
Dr. I.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. So that's all set. And then, the other thing was our appointment.
Yeah, so I think we talked the last time, I had volunteered, sort of, and I think we even voted. And I called Gabe a couple of days ago to say that I was rethinking whether or not it made sense for me to be on the search committee, simply because my schedule between the solar mediation, I'm gonna be out of town at the end of this month for a few days, and then I'm out of town from the middle of February till well into the first week in March. And Gabe had indicated that we already had 6 resumes, and I thought I didn't want to be the cause of sort of slowing things down. I think we have a great committee, which will function just fine without me. But I feel that Eric or Melissa could certainly serve on the search committee in my stead. And I know the last time it was sort of between Eric and I, because I know Melissa, you've been doing a lot. So I was gonna go ahead and suggest that, and nominate Eric to serve rather than me, if you are willing to do that.
I am willing.
You are? Okay, great.
Okay, well, I think that works.
Okay,
Yeah. I think
All right.
that works for us.
so we don't need to like withdraw our old vote or anything, do we? I mean, we just
We just
appoint a
vote a new
new.
one.
Yeah.
Use it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, well, you can make the motion
Yeah,
now.
so I'll make a motion that Eric Stocker be the select board representative to the town administrative search committee.
I'll second that. So, did you have any comment, Red?
I can't
Did you
wait.
vote? I can't wait. All right, so all in favor?
Farrell, I.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye.
I don't even lie, I'm not gonna vote, try to vote for yourself.
Yeah, you can, yeah. I have.
Dr. I.
It just reaffirms that, yeah, okay.
So, the other thing just that needs to be done that I had volunteered to do was to send out a doodle poll to help get the first meeting set up. And, I can go ahead and do that tomorrow, if that makes sense, unless somebody else really wants to do it, but what I was thinking, and I had actually, well, he's not here tonight, but I had, sent Michael DiChiara a note just saying, can you meet during the day? Because I think for you, Kristen, there's a number, and everybody but, Michael is retired, so it would seem if we could find daytime meeting times that might work. So I will go ahead and do that, and if I don't hear back from Michael, I'll just give him, I think I had sent him a text. I will give him a call and just ask him if there's certain times during the day that, because my recommendation was that the group, at least initially meet in person. And, that will be up to the committee to decide what to do, but, I've been thinking that at least the first meeting, everybody gets introduced to one another, and also there's a bunch of kind of organizational stuff that needs to be taken care of. You need to pick a chair. So, I'm gonna try to see if I can't manage to wrangle everybody. And then try to get that done relatively soon. So
Mhm.
maybe the first meeting next week sometime. And then we have, I think you mentioned, do we have 6 or do we have more
6
than
or 7 right now.
6 or 7,
Mhm.
okay.
We printed them out today. We're making packets for the search.
Oh,
committee.
okay, great.
Yeah.
And, they have some organizational stuff to do first before they start looking at
Yes,
resumes.
absolutely.
But, so I will go ahead and do that tomorrow as soon as I catch up with Michael, and then we can get underway, because it's already, it's today,
Yeah.
7th.
Yeah.
Time is a passing. Everything it just takes time, getting the job description took time, but I feel like we're really ready now. And especially if that first, group of resumes doesn't yield anything, then we would have to, or the committee, I would assume, would make some decisions about whether or not it needed to do any further advertising or whatever. But for the purposes of getting underway, I will get that doodle poll out. So if they meet here, so the days that are better for you are Tuesdays and Thursdays, when you're here.
So
So,
I can kind of,
okay,
if
the morning,
consensus-
is a morning better?
I think we do the doodle poll and see what the majority said.
Okay.
I can work around.
Okay, but if it was another day, I guess, if that was.
Right, morning is my preference, but
Yeah, okay,
I know we've got 7 people that.
Yeah.
Trying to rally them
Yeah.
together.
okay. All right. This is the worst, setting up meetings. That's really.
And that's why I.
Burning
Yeah, it's, I know when we've done the solar stuff and had meetings with, oh my gosh, it was terrible. So, okay, I will start there, and, I can do that since I'm not gonna serve on the committee, I can at least do this part of it, right?
So when do we stop, tell people that there's no more applications?
No, we left it open,
We left it open.
yeah, it was open
So
ended on
even
purpose.
after the committee starts?
Yeah.
But once the
Yeah.
committee starts, if something comes in that's worthy, I'll move it forward.
Yeah, okay.
But I think you would have to, at some point, do a cutoff.
Yeah, but I don't think you wanna do it until you have a pretty good sense that you have a decent pool
Right.
of applicants. So, okay. Wednesday doodle poll. Anything else? We're all set on the job description, right? Okay.
Yep. We will need an ad for the next agenda item, an ad for the town, the admin assistant, but I'll draft one up for a second.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
all right,
It'll be rough draft, like, and then we can tear it apart if we need to,
okay,
I want to.
all right. So do you need us to sign stuff now, Gabe, or,
No, the sign,
you got it?
I've got it.
Okay.
The stuff we have to sign is further down with the next
Okay.
topic.
Okay. And do you want to talk about we're gonna talk about the administrative assistant on
Not-
Thursday?
Yeah, on Thursday.
Okay.
Yep,
All right.
Thursday.
Okay. So we did that because we didn't have it on the agenda and the personnel committee met last night, so we didn't know that it was gonna be, that we were gonna be able to
Approve it,
move it
right,
along,
right.
so we didn't put it on tonight's agenda. We're gonna have a very short meeting on
Mhm.
Thursday just to approve the job description and the ad, right? And that will be at 5 o'clock?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
posted and the Zoom link and everything is there already.
Okay, and I won't be here. I have a.
I'll set up
grandmother's
here
birthday.
so that, because to stay within the hybrid thing, but you two can do.
Yeah, I won't be here,
Yeah,
here.
Yeah.
that's fine, I'll do the
Okay,
Zoom.
you can do it at 5 o'clock
I
Thursday?
think so.
Okay, all right. I will be
Pretty
remote.
sure that I'll have access to the internet. and so
Okay.
forth.
All right. Okay, good. We're good.
So the next item is the letter to the Department of Conservation and Recreation.
So I, sent a draft, and put it in the, put it in our shared file. And this is a follow-up to the discussion that we had when, Senator Comerford was here, and, there had been raised by some folks in town a concern about some of the cutting that, is anticipated, and so I know that Senator Comerford and also, Representative Aaron Saunders followed up with DCR and sent a letter to them, and I just thought it made sense for us, since when she was here, this came up, it's just to follow up with, a letter.
Be
So
1 second, I didn't prep, I was
Okay,
bad
that's
and
all
didn't
right.
prep,
it's in
myself.
the, yeah,
so I just have to make myself.
it's in the shared file.
Know where it is, I didn't, log in with the other.
And
computer.
basically, it just references the letter, talks about our concern about, the cutting and,
I do have a copy of it here if you want to read it.
I was gonna.
yeah,
toss that up.
everybody
Yeah, I
has
figured
it,
you
you have
would.
it, you had it, yeah.
I know.
I mean, I have it, and there's some pictures that I just belatedly put in the, some of the cutting that had been done down in that, area, down on Legal Road, so that should go along, it's just an illustration of,
The pictures.
their cutting techniques, yes.
Right.
So
So let me just share my screen, give me 1 second here. Usually I have this up and running, but we had other things we were doing. Can everybody, well, I can see it, so. There we go.
Yeah.
Right. So this is an example of the cutting.
Mhm.
So there's one picture. And two.
I think the concern is that it doesn't, places that are used for hiking and recreation, that they're not, I assume those were the landings where they,
Yeah, that's
pulled everything out, that they didn't clear,
Yeah.
that it wasn't, usually they, run over stuff and make it so that it's not so difficult to walk through. So we haven't heard anything back from Senator Comerford as far as I know.
No.
Okay.
I can put this on.
So,
letter.
yeah, I thought I had changed the date, because that
I
was.
changed it on the
You
letter.
did,
If you
okay,
decide to
yeah.
Oh, you
sign
have
it,
that.
I
I updated it, yeah.
Yeah. So if everybody, Eric, I didn't, I know that you had some concern about, because you're an abutter to this property, about whether or not
Butter to and a butter. I'm
you're
one
an
of those-
abutter to an
I'm one of
abutter.
those butter to and butter people.
But but there's no like financial interest or, well, I guess potentially.
I guess
there's
there
a
could be, but-
Financial interest if, so I didn't include your name. Do you want to be excluded from signing the
Yeah,
letter?
I think so. When I talked to Donna, I did ask Donna, should I be worried about this? She said, probably not, because the select board doesn't have any real direct
Right.
influence over,
Right, what they do.
Right.
but
Yeah,
we're just offering opinion. She said, that's probably okay, but she said, you don't want to ever get involved in anything that's a conflict of interest law
right,
situation. She said,
Right.
just don't do it,
okay,
So
okay, so,
that's what I'm doing. That's
Err on
my
the side of
view.
caution.
That's what
Yeah.
she said, basically, just be safe.
okay, so I'd like to make a motion that we, send this letter to, Commissioner Arrigo, is that how you pronounce it?
I do see a mistake right there. It says, it's at the very bottom,
Yeah.
there should be an A in there. It is hardly a place, one might.
Okay, yeah, good,
Oh.
thank you. A place, space, do we have to print it again? Well, maybe we can just sign the second page.
Yeah, the-
Yeah.
yeah,
Would do
the-
that.
yeah, the
If
signature
there's
page.
no, yeah, we'll just do the signature page, how's that?
Yeah.
Okay, then you don't have to,
Then, well, this,
I
yeah,
can just reprint the front page.
front page, yep,
okay, so do I hear a motion to sign
Yes,
the letter for the?
Need a space after that A.
you have to second it.
Second,
And now,
all those in favor? I'm sorry,
Farrell, I.
Piece of mail, I.
Stockbridge scheme.
Let's see, okay, great.
I'm sorry, the screen just distracted me.
Did Gail have a question, Jen?
She said there's no space after the A.
I just didn't see a space put in after the letter A.
Okay, great.
I'll sign this now so we can give it back to Gabe.
Great, and then I can sign it.
There you go, all right. I'm gonna stop screen sharing. And. Yeah,
But the building's been very cold.
It's
Oh,
really windy.
yeah.
You go to the post office, flag looks like it's made of plywood.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
wind
'cause
just
it's
straight out.
just, My hands are freezing.
The review minutes,
You want the.
oh, sorry, the drawdown,
Right,
I'm sorry, the
right.
whale drawdown,
Yeah,
yes.
so we got a contract amendment from, I don't know how to say their name, GZA.
GZA. Right.
GZA, you
It's just
actually say it.
GZA,
Okay.
yeah.
So originally, what I sent you folks was the entire contract, change order, which was about a $65,000 change order.
Mhm.
And in researching, our accountant is supposed to sign all contracts. Historically, that's something we're doing going forward. But when she does that, she says that she states to the state that the money is in place.
Right.
And we could not find where the money was in place. So you had 3 town votes for different various amounts, one with for Dan consultant and the other one, so the total voted was like 70 some odd $1,000. But you have already expended from that.
The whole amount?
Not the whole amount, but it wasn't, there's like 60,000 left, but there's other bills, there's 4 bills we're paying on this warrant that were owed to GCA that hadn't been paid. So in researching all of this, I didn't feel comfortable, and neither did Gail, signing an amendment for that kind of money. So I emailed, I talked to Mark Rivers a little bit, I talked to Beth Wilson, and she was gonna try to come tonight if she could. I don't see her, but that's fine. Because what we decided to do was to go back to GZA and say, can we amend the change order and do 1 and 3? and not do two. Two is where the bulk of the cost is. And one is the report, which is vitally important. So the task one, if you give me a minute, I'll tell you what the cost of task one is. Because I'm sure you don't remember, because I don't remember either, even though I've read it 3 or 4 times. So task one is the dam inspection evaluation report. That really needs to be done. It's $4,800 to do that. And task 3, which is now renamed task 2 on the contract, is to prepare a grant application. And the idea is to prepare the grant application, and if we get it, it'll pay for task 2. So
Great.
it's worth $5,600 for task 3 to write the grant.
Yeah.
So what we would do is have GZA write the grant for us. Hopefully we'll get it, revisit the change order with task 2. Now, what I gave you folks lists all the breakdowns of what task 2 is, and that's gonna be done over time.
Right.
But my fear was signing it tonight is we're committing in this fiscal year for it, and I didn't have the funding in place. So we're short. So this gives us the opportunity to apply for the grant, put funding in for the next year's budget if the conservation group feels we need to. And it gives us just a better scope of what we're doing. So today, GZA rewrote the change order for us, sent it to me, and I have it here for you to sign. It is identical to the one you got, and you're welcome to look at it, because I don't think I sent this, because I got it at the last minute.
Yeah. We had the whole thing.
You had the whole
last
thing.
meeting. Yeah.
So the change is on this page, and I'll pass this around. But it only has the 2, so you are voting to spend $10,400. We do have that.
Okay.
And so that moves us forward. It keeps the project on track and takes care of it. And I don't know if Mark has anything that he'd like to add to that. I don't know if he's involved, I don't know the involvement in that, but I want to make sure everybody has a chance to say something or look at it. So if not, I'm looking for a motion to sign the change order for the professional consulting services.
Can I just ask a question about where would the grant come from? Did
I
they
am
say?
not sure. I
Okay,
don't know how to answer that.
but they would prepare it for our
They would prepare it, right, and it would come, right, they would prepare it. They have all the facts and the numbers and all of that,
and this is to do all the permitting around the lake
Correct.
lowering
yeah,
in the future, because we
Yeah.
got that extension.
yeah. But if we don't get the grant, you're definitely gonna have
Have
to
to-
fund it.
So, and then
Next
that
year's
would be
budget.
town meeting.
Yes,
Right?
that would be annual town meeting.
Yeah. Okay.
Mark did turn his microphone off, or on. Did you have something you wanted to say?
No, the only additional comment is do we want to put in, or what's the process for funding the actual repair work? That's the estimate was $150,000, and does that go into next year's budget or?
That would have to be an article that you put on the annual town budget, and you would have to go to the FinCom and request them to do that. You also need to tell capital planning. So they both need to know, I believe your capital planning has to see the ask for that. So do you want me to send you the capital planning form? I believe I gave everybody, land use clerk, everybody got the capital planning form, but I'm not sure you knew what it was for. So I can send you one, Mark, you guys can fill it out, it's due back January 15th.
And that would be for what? That'd be for next fiscal year?
Yes, it would be for the 100 and whatever you just said you guys are gonna need for the repairs.
Sure, I can give it a shot and and fill it out.
Or you can come into my office and I can work with you on it.
Okay, that's another option.
That's another option. I'll send it to you and then you can decide and let me know what you'd like to do. How about that?
Okay,
Mark, can you, remind us who did the estimate for the repairs? I just don't recall the 100, listing,
this was in, the GZA did the estimate for the repairs. That
GZA
was in
did.
their memorandum, from November 12th.
Okay, we can probably look that up.
So is that, do we know whether or not that's part of their grant application? Or
It is
that-
not, my understanding is the grant,
Grant application is about the chapter 91 stuff and the
Yeah.
lake lowering and everything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
So we have a report from GZA that the dam needs $150,000 worth of improvements now.
Well, it's not really right now. I mean, this has been going on for years, maybe 4 or 5 years. That the earlier dam inspection reports identified these deficiencies, and there was like 6 of them. And at one point we were going to get some volunteers to fix some of them, but it never really happened. And so this is getting estimates, or they put together estimates to do the actual repair, have the repair work performed.
so is there any grants out there for the repair work? I know the state is doing a lot of programming on dams and that sort of thing.
We'd have to check with GZA on that.
Okay, okay. So what you can do, if we're applying for various grants, you can go ahead and put an article on your town meeting to fund it or borrow the funds. And then if the grants come in, you don't do it, you withdraw that article, but at least you put it in place so the work can go forward if nothing happens. And that's vitally important because you're on a time frame here. In all of this is my understanding, so.
Mark, did you ever have any discussion with, Mateo, around CPA money? The CPA money can be used for the dam since it's a historic structure. So I'm just wondering if that, the Community Preservation Committee is kind of in the process right now of, we've done a preliminary eligibility determination, and then applications for CPA funds are due, I believe, at the end of January, maybe beginning of February. But it would be worth, just getting in touch. Do you know Mateo?
No, I don't.
Okay, I will send you his contact information. Do you know when he's in the town
He's
hall?
in every day. He comes in, I think about 10 and leaves right before noon.
Okay, so he's the land use clerk, but he's also the chair of the Community Preservation Committee. And it would be worth, if we have a, if we have a pretty good estimate of the work that has to be done on the dam, it could be that it would make sense to apply for CPA money, because that's just another, it's a pot of money that the town has access to. And I just want to make sure with the, and I don't have the stuff in front of me, there's criteria that you have to meet. And I just want to make sure that these activities, but Mateo's really good at, seeking information, checking on the statute, and it would just seem like, it might be something that would make sense for us to use CPA money on. At least some of the work, could be, we have CPA funds, and if they can be used for this, then we should use it.
Agreed. Maybe it'd be a good idea for us to touch base with GZA and to see what the grant is actually for. Is it for just the design work or is it for the repair work? Because it comes from the Office of Dam Safety, the grant. And so, you know, it's something we need to look into that I just don't know, but GZA would know.
I put that in my notes to ask her tomorrow.
Okay, good.
To just have her explain everything that we're eligible for.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what it, yeah, because if they're getting the grant for the design work, but then the actual, construction work could be potentially funded with CPA funds.
So let me ask her all of those. She's really good at responding, so. And then I can update everyone at the next meeting.
Yeah, but in the meantime, Mark, it would be good to get in touch with Mateo so he can begin to, do research on the eligibility.
Okay.
So you got his, do you need his information? It's Mateo Pangalo, he's a land use clerk.
I'll probably, it's probably on the website. I'll find it.
Okay. If you're in any trouble, let us know.
Thank you both. In the meantime, do I hear a motion to, sign the change order of professional consulting services for Lake Loyola Dam permitting, dam inspection and repair for GZA?
So moved.
Second,
Any further questions? All those in favor of signing, executing,
Carol, I.
Stocker, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye, and it only requires one signature, is there, okay?
Go for it.
Roll call.
It's my fault.
Terrible.
And then the next item is minutes.
We have 3 sets of minutes that I think I sent all of you. I did want to address Gail's concern in that, as Geneva is doing the minutes for us, she's catching up, so she's done 4 sets now. And she did put in the volunteers and other staff present and the guests. She did list everybody.
Okay.
So you'll see them all listed, so we'll just continue doing that.
Yeah, I think at other meetings, I know we have said like, Tom Steefert's here in the room.
Yeah.
But tonight we had so many people that, you would need the list, but
Right.
typically,
We don't.
yeah, we don't, yeah, we say the names of who's here, but Gail's right, we don't see them on the screen, because I've watched some recordings and I think, well, who else was there, unless they speak.
Or, and the thing at the top, we can't see because it's so far away, but Gail, at the top, you see a bird's eye view of the room. Can you see Tom in that picture right now?
What are you asking? I'm sorry.
At the top of the video of us, can you see Tom in the top of that thing?
Yes, waving his hand.
Yeah.
All right, I just was curious if it picked up the actual whole room, so.
Yeah.
So at least you can see if they're standing in the room, maybe not necessarily who it's kind of time.
In the old meetings before Zoom, wasn't there a sheet handed around for people to sign in?
Yeah, we did that tonight, right, as you said it, yeah, both Rita and I had pulled a piece of paper off our pads.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had people sign in because we had so many people here.
Yeah,
But I assume somebody's writing the names down of who's up on the screen too. 'Cause
Yes,
that's-
I think that behind the scenes in Zoom land, that anybody that participates, it does hold on to the name somewhere.
Oh, it
in
does?
Yes, I don't know where that
Oh,
is.
okay, all right. I didn't
You're
know that.
on you're in here in the minutes, so,
Oh, sweet.
yeah, so I've got.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
does
it does,
bring up the.
okay.
yeah.
Zoom watching it.
Okay, well, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the September 25th, 2024 minutes.
Okay, second,
Second,
okay. Any edits or that you noticed in those, I didn't.
It was good.
That's very good. And thank you to Geneva.
Yes.
I know she's not here at the moment, but, for helping us with these minutes. I'm very appreciative. Okay, all in favor, all those in favor?
Carol, I.
Stalker, aye.
Make please, Neil, aye. Do I hear a motion for the minutes for October 8th, 2024?
I'll move that we approve the minutes of October 8th, 2024.
Second,
Any edits or adjustments? Anyone got? Okay, all those in favor?
Carol, I.
Stalker, aye.
Make peace go Neil, aye. And then on the 1st of November, the minutes, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second,
Any edits or,
That's
clarification? Okay, all those in favor?
Carol, I.
Stalker,
Make peace go Neil, aye.
Great to get these done.
It is.
So, will they automatically be sent to Grace then?
So what I have it, the set you voted last week, I didn't send to her yet, so I'm gonna
Okay.
send her all four.
Okay.
And,
And I have a question related sort of, last night.
Just speak up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Last night at the personnel board meeting, I think it's the computer too being in front of me. So last night, the personnel board meeting, it was identified that the personnel board minutes may not have been being sent either to Grace or posted online. So I wanna check,
so who does that?
Did you have a secretary?
Becky was the one that was handling a lot of the, I mean, the minutes would be done and we'd vote on them and it would go to, I think it was just assumed that Becky might have been doing it. So, I have all of the ones saved. I went through last night's emails, so I can hand them to Grace, I guess.
That would be great.
All right. Okay, that was just since we were on minutes. It was
I tried
identified.
posting them today and I can't post them, so that's why they have to go to Grace, I realize.
You can't post minutes.
No, I tried.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought I'd get the select board ones
Yeah.
up there and at least
Yeah.
get them on, but I have to, that's.
Can we get
your permission? I don't know, I can ask her. I think, I don't know, I don't wanna speak for Grace, so.
Yeah.
Okay, no, she may have a preference.
Yeah.
Okay, so, we already did the revisit appointed of the select board rep to TA, so now it's just unanticipated and PA report. Okay.
So we're moving right along. I don't have a whole lot to report. I'm figuring out, I figured out the GZA thing pretty much, and today we figured out what I needed for PFAS. Susie Mosier helped me, and that was a big,
Oh, great.
because she helped organize some of that stuff, so it was really helpful to go through that folder. And, for the next meeting, we have a couple of things. I got a request from Penny, I think her last name's Marshall, but I was trying to look up the email. There's a group of people that would like us to, the select board, to listen to the fact that they would like a bylaw put on the annual town meeting for us having a bylaw that we are an accepting community. And my language barrier is not saying this well, so let me see if I can pull it up. Penelope Kim. Okay.
Okay.
Gail and I are proposing adoption of a bylaw declaring Shutesbury as a sanctuary community. So I'm not asking you to discuss that tonight, I'm just telling you that that's a request. And I did take the liberty to talk to Donna about it because my first impression is that's a citizen's petition. And not bylaw material, but Donna came back and said to me, it can be either or.
It could be either a citizen's petition
Or a bylaw.
Okay,
So it's up to the select board whether they want to present it to town meeting and
Okay.
put it on the annual town meeting. So my proposal is that we put them on the next agenda, have them come explain what they're trying to do, and then you folks can deliberate or give yourself another meeting's time to think about it, vet it a little more. I don't know if you want to make an immediate decision the night they're talking.
Right.
You may want to explore it a little more, and you have those options.
okay.
So, but that's what Donna said, and I did tell Penny that I was gonna talk to you tonight about it, that I was gonna talk to Donna about it and see what Donna's opinion was. I was a little surprised that Donna's opinion was, that you could do a bylaw on it. So that was the interesting part for me. So that's for the next agenda, but you have a heads up on it.
Okay.
I can forward Penny's email if you wanna read it.
Yeah, that would
Sure.
be great.
Okay, that'd be great.
And
Yeah.
just while we're talking about it, so we are gonna meet in 2 weeks.
Yes,
Is that correct? Okay,
yes.
so that is.
And is that the start of our every other week?
Yes.
Yeah.
scenario?
So
Okay.
that's the 21st?
21st.
Okay, so January 21st. And then,
Is
we
it
just
five
did
or
the weeks.
six? Is that 5 or 6?
So is that a night that the finance committee will be meeting?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
I am remiss on.
do you, what's that like for you, Melissa? I mean, I'm fine with 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on
you
Tuesday,
wanna
so,
do
so
five
I
o'clock?
looked at my
Okay.
schedule.
Whatever, I mean, whatever's, yeah.
Perfect, I
Okay.
can just work at home on Tuesdays, it was just easy.
Okay, can we just do the meetings after that, because then I'll tell you when I'm not gonna be here. So after the 21st is the 28th, and then the
28th, and then the 11th. No.
Yes, it's 28.
no,
Yeah.
28th is 1 week, I meant.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah,
meant?
then it
It's
would
1
be
week.
the- then it would be the 7th.
So February 7th,
I'm sorry, it's changed. When did it change?
It'd
Hold on a
be
second. There
February
you go, 4th.
4, okay. And then there's one on the 18th. And what's 2 weeks from the 18th? Must be in March.
March.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna miss the 18th and the 4th.
Okay, let me look at what AJ said, because I think.
This, this actually does throw us off our regular schedule.
Oh, it does, because
So tonight wouldn't have ordinarily been a normal meeting. The
Okay.
14th is,
the 14th.
would have been, and that would start us to match up with payroll if we wanted to do it that way.
Okay, so
Does that make sense?
the 7th tonight is a FinCom meeting, the 21st is the next FinCom
So
meeting.
yeah, so
So do you wanna get to the other, you wanna go ahead and go,
do you want to do 14th and then?
yeah, get on the other
Yeah,
schedule?
is that
So
That's
we
fine.
got 14th,
the
114th.
14th?
So next meeting will be 1/14.
114,
And then we'll be every
At
other.
5.
then it's the 20,
8th, and then
Eighth.
11th. And then,
February 20,
And
I
then
mean,
25th.
January 28th. Let me just write this down,
Yeah.
because I wanna make sure I have it. Then it's February what?
11th,
February 11th.
the
Okay,
25th of February, and then the 11th of March.
okay, so then I only miss one meeting.
That's better, yeah,
And that's on our normal schedule, offset from them,
right,
and on our normal.
then you
signing
don't
of
have that time
payment.
limit.
Okay.
anymore.
What's the last one? 3, 1?
March 11th. So the 14th, 28th, February 11th, March 25th, and March 11th, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. And just along those lines, I don't know if you were gonna address this, Gabe, but, I know we were gonna talk to the finance committee about moving town meeting.
So I'm on their agenda tonight.
Oh, okay,
And I'm gonna mention it to them, if they want you to come, we can do a joint meeting.
okay.
But I thought I'd just test the waters and see how they felt about it, because it came up so fast. The meeting did, didn't know they were gonna piggyback on us tonight,
Oh, I see.
until I heard from him.
Yeah.
And, so I now have the schedule here and I can send that on as well. It's nice to know what they're doing, because they've scheduled it all the way out through April 26th, which is their town meeting date.
Right,
But if they change it.
okay. So
um,
we would change town meeting,
Right.
but we just wanna make sure that they're
They're on
in
the board.
agreement on
Correct,
that,
yeah.
right? Yeah,
So if they want to talk more about it.
a lot of it has to do with the regional school budget and us,
And state budget and all that.
yeah.
Wasn't it used to be way back?
Well, it was
First
in May,
Saturday-
first Saturday in May, and then during COVID, it got
Yeah.
moved around a lot.
Yeah.
But, part of it is around the school budget, and also just because we're doing a lot of catch up.
Right.
So, I, for one, would think it would make sense to move it a
Let
little
me
bit
feel
later.
how and then if they want to meet with you guys to talk about it, further,
Okay,
you you are the deciding factor, so.
Right.
You know, I don't know. The other thing I was gonna talk to them about was the, increase in the budget for the,
Feedback.
no, the PFAS.
Oh, but also for the
The
administrative.
administrative
assistant.
secretary. So did the personnel board approve the job? Oh,
We did approve the job description.
okay. So I did figure it out, and I figured it out at various hourly rates. Cause I didn't know what they set, and you can tell me after Thursday what the rate range was. But I did figure out at the high range, it was gonna add $17,000 to the budget, which is significant.
Yeah.
About 13,000 at the low rate, depending upon experience. That's a 4-day, 32-hour work week. I didn't figure out health insurance costs, because that position already has them.
Right.
So if that impact isn't there, at
Mhm.
first I thought, oh my, you're gonna have that impact of the,
Right,
Medicare.
it's already there.
it's
20 hours,
already
I think,
there,
Yeah.
right? Because it's over the 20 hours, so the impact is basically the increase in that line item.
Right.
So I'll mention that to them tonight to get a feel, of what they're thinking about that. And the PFAS, so that's about where we are.
Okay.
If you have anything you want me to work on, the next thing I'm working on is the budget. I ran into a glitch with Zoom. It allowed me to I set up, the land use clerk was the one with the most things to do,
Right.
right? So I did set him up, he has his own, license, and he's working fine as far as I know. But when I went to set up the third one, it wouldn't let me. So I've had to write up a ticket and try to talk to them again.
Uh-huh.
So I am trying to get that resolved, so
Was-
that's moving along.
Was that because the third one was already a account that was established?
No, for some reason, and I think when they sales pitch stuff to you, they make it sound like conversions are easy.
Right.
Well, they're only allowing still 2 emails to be used. So the town admin is 1 email, and now land use clerk is
The
number
second
2.
one, yeah.
And when I went to do number 3, it wouldn't let me. And so, that's where I ran into a wall, last week when I was working on it. So we will overcome this.
Yeah, yeah, because he did say you could have however many email addresses.
Yeah, he did. And I've emailed him twice, and he keeps sending me back follow these 10 steps to do this, and, whoever's computer is can come to my office and help me figure this out. It's always the little silly.
I know, they're
things
just so
that
time
drive me
consuming.
nuts.
Yes, yeah.
So,
And it's
I
probably
think
something
third graders
simple like
write
a
most
checkbox.
websites, I swear to God.
it's because you don't talk to a person anymore.
I know.
You know, you're talking to your A1 on it, and it doesn't know how to answer the technical questions, it answers general questions. And, so he finally said to me, you're gonna have to open a ticket and talk to a person.
You can't even call the telephone company.
No,
I mean, you
Yeah.
go on the Verizon website and you can spend 15 minutes trying to find the phone number.
Keep it in zero.
You're the phone company, you don't know
Right.
the
well,
phone.
Right.
my car broke down. Try AAA, they now want you to pinpoint where you are on a map.
Yeah.
So you are stranded, trying to
And-
hopefully have a website on
Yeah,
your
right.
phone.
Right.
Right.
Because you have to pinpoint where you are on the map. I finally said, forget it.
That's ridiculous.
Right,
We'll
right.
figure something else out. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it's a different world, people.
No, it is.
That's it for me, unless you have
Okay.
something, any questions.
I just have a question. I have some minutes that I got somewhere from October 24th. That's the time
I
where.
thought we'd approved those.
Did we
didn't
approve? Maybe that's why we
Yeah, I think
approved
we
them.
did. Yeah, didn't we approve the October 24th?
I
minutes?
went through our, see, that's the problem.
The one thing I noticed about those minutes is it talks about us meeting with the planning board. That should be the personnel board, shouldn't
That
it?
was personnel.
Yeah, well, that's what made me
So
wonder.
you have October, well, we can amend it.
Right.
So do you want to sending those, or did you get them from Geneva?
Where did you get that from?
I don't even know. Tell you the truth. I mean, I don't know, I found this morning, I was looking through all these notes,
Okay.
the meeting
for the-
minutes, I was gonna
yeah.
read for the meeting, and
So
Okay.
that's
You can just
October
have- I'll
twenty-fourth.
just give it to you. You can, I think I highlighted, just anytime that,
Yeah.
several places it says planning
Planning
board,
board,
it should just say,
personnel,
all it should say is
personnel.
personnel board, that's the only difference. But I
So
could,
maybe we didn't, maybe
Oh, hold
Neva
on.
sent those?
Yeah, she sent them December 18th,
Okay, and we just
Um,
hadn't,
and it was with the personnel board.
oh, okay, then maybe those are just, oh, I don't worry.
These look, yep, it says
They had
personnel
a
board.
serious
Oh.
paper, sure,
Well, that's something I can work on
Oh,
Thursday,
it
is
says
trying to.
planning, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so it says planning
Yeah.
board at the top line,
Yeah.
but yeah, these are the ones we had, she sent it to us on the October.
okay, we just
December
hadn't approved those
18th,
yet.
Yeah,
Okay, so we could do that at the meeting on the 14th.
yeah, oh, these might have been actually, that was the, sorry, never mind, never mind,
Okay.
it was sent the December 18th.
Back and get it.
Do you want me to forward them to you? Since I have it up.
You can, today I just searched the admin secretary email for minutes. Or I didn't do it today, I did it Tuesday.
Or I'll
or
send it, I
Wednesday.
have it. right here.
So the one other thing that, was still sort of out there that we had talked about way back when was, getting Shutesbury emails for, town officials who don't have them. Do you remember this discussion?
Yes, I do. I remember many discussions.
You know, because people are using their personal emails and it just has gotten to be problematic. So I know Becky had done some checking about what it would cost. But it might be worth exploring if we want to try to do that, to get a budget item into. I mean, there's certainly committees that are like interim committees, like the stormwater committee, you know, I would say they have a discrete amount of time, but ongoing committees that, would make sense rather than people using their personal emails.
It does make sense, because right now Geneva and Abby are sharing the email, and that's causing some
Yeah.
confusion.
Yeah, I've noticed that,
Yeah.
just some of the emails going back and forth.
Yeah, so, you know, it sounds simple, because Abby's only here for 3 to 4 weeks, not to create a separate email,
Right.
but it is causing some confusion.
Yeah.
Well, that email, like, in that case, like, that email could also be, the name could be changed, well, I guess it couldn't be changed.
It's admin secretary, the
Yeah,
general.
Yeah. But there
If
are a
there
lot
was a
of,
person's name you could change, no, then you couldn't.
no,
No.
no.
Yeah,
Good try, Melissa.
okay.
Anyway, it just,
Um,
if somebody could research, I don't know if Abby has time to just say, you know.
Oh,
Oh, Gail, you do it?
yeah. This is a web committee thing. So the contract with Google Workspace has to be renewed. A 3-year contract ends at the end of June, so it's up to be renewed. And the number has to be set at that point. And what we have done to make way, because we were limited to how many licenses we can have. So when these
Right.
2 new committees were created, for instance, we took old, deactivated addresses, archived the contents and put them in a hard drive in the clerk's office, so she can answer all the requisite state retention, blah, 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 blah. And then deleted it from the licenses and reassigned the license to the new committees.
I see, okay, but the individuals on the committees, like, on the planning board, I don't believe like planning board members have their own Shutesbury.org.
The web committee's response was it would be exorbitantly expensive to do each individual license. And that the one way to take care of that is to have the committee email forwarded to the individual members of the committee. Then they would have to respond from the committee email. But there'd be, everybody in the committee, in other words, would have access to the committee email.
But the issue becomes when people have, when they're emailing from their personal emails and have no Shutesbury designation.
Correct,
And then there's a public records request.
correct, got it. The problem though is that even the people who have long-term have the Shutesbury address don't always use it, even for committee business. So I don't know how you're gonna get, I mean, there's no way you can enforce that really.
Yeah, I think we can, Gail, if we decide to go that route and tell everybody all business of town needs to be through this email and you're not to do it to your personal email address.
Well,
I think-
that's the policy at this point now. I mean,
Alright.
that was the
We
whole
should-
point of having, that was the whole
Yeah.
point of having the Shutesbury.org emails for committee business. You conduct committee business through that official email. For exactly the point that you raised, Rita, about policy requests.
Right, but what I'm saying is that is an individual on the, on a committee, is using, if they're, let's say they're somebody from the planning board is communicating with me, they're not using a Shutesbury.
No.
They're
there's a
using their
lot of
personal
personal
email.
emails.
And
So, you know, I guess, you know, I would want to know how expensive is that?
I can send you the spreadsheet.
Okay, that'd be
Can I-
great.
And
can I
is there
say
a
too,
difference?
you could set up, couldn't you, where the person on the planning board you're speaking of, they could get their own second email address, right? If it was consistent, they had a policy, in other words, they'd be Joe Smith at planning.
Well, some
At
people have
gmail.com.
like
Joe
somebody have
Smith
their
dot
name, they
planning
say,
at
There are some
gmail.com.
like that.
there are
Like
some
Michael
like
Cherry
that.
does that, I know
He
that.
has Shutesbury
Right.
and then dot,
Whatever it is.
you know, at Gmail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something, so you might be able to do that where it wouldn't cost a lot of money because people
Right.
can then get their own emails.
It's also
did-
problematic in terms of public meeting, open meeting law. If one person from a committee addresses members of their own committee,
Oh,
the
no, I-
the whole quorum issue of public meeting is,
Right,
comes to
no,
play.
yeah,
And maybe there's a less expensive option out there,
Yeah.
not Google, like, you know, there may be some better option.
okay.
Because Shutesbury.org can be put onto any platform.
Say that again, please.
It doesn't necessarily have to be Google, Shutesbury.org email addresses can be on any platform we choose to use.
So what's an example of?
No,
Outlook.
Oh,
Outlook was $65 a person, and it included protection, which I don't know if you have protection.
And admin access.
Admin access.
So Grace
yeah,
can go in and collect what she needs.
Right, and it had storage in the cloud. The business Outlook platform covered everyone, and instead of having to have subscriptions to Office and
Yeah.
Excel and all of that, it was part of the $65 per person. So it was a master thing. Now that I've been out of Orange for 2 years, so that's probably higher now per person, but.
But still, that's on an annual basis.
Yeah, and you paid it once a year and you told them how many, and you did what Gail said, if you had one that wasn't being used anymore, it got repurposed. So you weren't paying
I
for
see.
licenses that were what we call
just had-
empty.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something we could investigate, Gail?
yeah.
Go to
Um,
Google?
I worked up the timesheet, the cost sheet for Becky long time ago. I can dig that up again and send it to you.
Okay.
I mean, it's straightforward. If you want X data points for storage, it costs X dollars per month times a year. And if you want expanded storage, then it costs more and so. Then you write a contract for 3 years for each with the set number of licenses. I'll send it to you. If I can find
Okay, great.
Yeah. I do
Thanks.
have that concern in that everything's on personal PC.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Storage are fun. Right, so my last thing is I'm having a department head meeting next Wednesday. It's a lunchtime meeting from 11:30 to 12:30. You're welcome to come if you want to just come and listen in. I'm basically, hopefully, going over Zoom capital planning requests are due, just general town business.
Okay,
It's Wednesday, yeah.
doing that down here.
I will probably do it down here.
We would have to post if more than a couple of us were coming.
Yeah, I think you would.
More than one of us this time.
Yeah.
I may do it in the council on aging, because it's
Yeah,
nicer,
it is
it's got the
nicer.
round tables. If there's only, right now, I have a couple of people who are at trainings that aren't able to come. So I don't know the exact number yet, I'm planning on 15.
Next week is the 15th, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I probably, do you wanna go?
I might, you know,
Okay.
we should probably post it and.
Why don't we post it?
Never
if
hurts to
nobody
post
comes?
it.
Okay,
it
Okay.
leaves it open to you guys to come, and
Okay.
if you don't, you
All right.
don't.
okay,
There's no agenda, I'm just gonna put on it that it's a department meeting.
okay.
You want to, do you want a dollar value? Do you want a dollar
Okay.
cost? For,
Sure,
okay, for all volunteers and employees, $5,220 a year.
okay, great.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad, okay.
I thought it was more closer to 10 or 11. So that's not bad at all.
And
Oh, really? Okay, well,
Section though.
do
I'll,
we
I'll
all-
send you the basis of all the calculations.
Right, that would be great.
Okay.
And what are we paying now, Gail? Do you know?
I can look it up. I don't have that right at hand. Oh, yes, I do. Hold on. $3,724 per
So
year.
it's only,
Oh, so it's only $2,000.
Oh, sorry, 5,724.
Oh,
What?
right.
That's what we're.
Then how can that be less than? The jury will ignore the previous remarks. I'll work this over and send it to you.
could you get those numbers to us? That would be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take your time.
Okay,
Okay, talk about it in another meeting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, and I know we have to adjourn it by 6, so do you want to go upstairs and transition? So 6:30.
okay, yeah,
6:30.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Second.
so move. And all of yours, Darrell, I,
Shocker.
thank you for your life.
Okay,
All right.
I'll help put chairs.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.